In the kitchen with Sonia 305, we're going to be making some tender braised short ribs. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up, turn on those notification bells for my channel. We have all the ingredients here: our salt, our spice mix, our garlic, onion powder, adobo, black pepper, paprika, tomato paste, sazon, onions, red and orange bell peppers, parsley, and garlic. And of course our short ribs, which is the star of the show. Okay, our wet seasonings, which we're going to be adding later, is our mushroom soy sauce, our beef broth, our oil, and our Worcester sauce. I have my scotch bonnet pepper there also. So I'm going to add my spice mix to this. This meat I'm going to let sit for like 2 hours. But I'm going to just go ahead and rub that spice mix all over the meat, all into the meat. And then when we come with the seasonings, by this is beef, we're gonna be a little generous with the salt. I have the adobo here, but we're gonna add some salt also at the end. And with what we're putting in there, we won't have to add anything to the gravy. Once we get everything going, we won't have to add anything to the juice that's going to be in the pan, the nice gravy that we're going to make with our fried meat. You guys will see the process, but I'm just adding all of the seasonings: pepper, adobo, onion powder, garlic powder, all of the dry spices. That's paprika and the sazon. Once we put that in, we're going to start rubbing that into the meat just like we did with the spice mix. We're going to rub everything really good, and we're going to let them sit for about 2 hours and marinate. So all of the spices have been added. Now we're just rubbing everything in. And we're going to let these babies sit and get going to start our short ribs. I'm adding some salt here. I told you guys that I would add salt, but I'm adding a little salt here also. And again, once you season it here, you shouldn't be adding any more spices. You can taste, of course. Taste your gravy, and that'll tell you what you would need afterwards. Okay, so these have been sitting for about 2 hours. I have a little oil that I'm going to put in the pan here. The pan is hot, so I just added some oil to it. And that's the short ribs after they were sitting. And we're going to fry these down. We're not cooking them. We're just frying them to get them a nice skin, because that skin, like how in some videos, some things that I do, I thicken my gravy after the fact. Once I fry these a bit and put all of my liquids in, once I take them out of the oven, it's going to be a nice thick gravy. I won't have to do anything to these once I put them in the oven, as far as thickening the gravy with what I'm doing now. That's why we're going to give them a nice fry. Just a few minutes on each side, a couple minutes. Shouldn't take no more than about 2 to 3 minutes, but you want your skin to stick to the meat. I have these on a medium high. And I'm just laying each piece down in here. Of course, for my family, it doesn't take a whole lot. So all that I'm cooking is going to go right in this hot pan. And we're going to try to get all of the sides of the meat also. So it's just a simple flouring, just like you would do pork chops, chicken when you fry it. You're going to do this the exact same way. Then we're gonna let these fry I'm just kind of clearing up my area here, getting rid of some of the stuff that I've already used while they're frying down. Okay, so I turned it down a little bit there. Now, of course, the pan has to be hot when it goes in. I turned it down, I think till about a 5.5, something like that. But look at that nice brown that we have on those pieces there. I had it on a medium high before, it was about a 7, so I turned it down to about a 5. But according to how hot your stove gets, that's what you'll do. You determine it on how hot your stove gets. But these have fried on both sides. Well, all 4 sides just about. So we're just taking them out. And that nice skin that's on there, again, that is going to be what's going to make our gravy. And they're not done by far. This was just a quick fry, just to brown it all the way around. Okay, so now I took a little bit of the oil out. And I'm just adding my spice mix to it. And we don't want to burn that, so here and there I just go in with my wooden spoon and, well, whatever kind of spoon. But for my pots, I'm using a wooden spoon. And those spices, they light up the house. Smell so good. Okay, now all of our onions, bell peppers, garlic, parsley. Again, I have red and green bell peppers, red and orange bell peppers. The parsley, I'm putting that in, and then I'm adding, that was about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm just letting those all fry down. If you don't like the clumps of tomato paste, because on certain dishes what I'll do is I put a little water in there just to help the clumps go down. But these are going to braise for so long till it doesn't matter. So once everything is hot, and translucent, I'll be looking for that translucent in the onions. Okay, now I'm about to come in with my liquids. And I have my oven preheating to 275. Well, it should be 275 because when I started, I preheated the oven, so. But at 275, because these are gonna braise nice and slowly for about 3 hours. And I'll let you guys see the end result. But that is our beef broth. I'm just pouring down into the pan. And then to help that color out, we're gonna add, again, I like mushroom soy sauce. So you can use regular soy sauce, but I like the mushroom soy sauce. And that's our Worcestershire sauce. Add a little bit of that. Okay, it looks brown right now, but when we finish, it's gonna be a brownish red. But it's gonna be tasty. Okay, and we're gonna let this come up to a boil before we add. I'm turning up the fire a little bit. We're gonna let it come to a boil, and we're gonna add our meats to it. Here I'm just adding a little more beef broth. It's not a whole lot of meat, but it's gonna cook down also. So I just want to make sure that once I take it out of the oven, it's pretty much. I'm sure that I'm gonna check it. like in between, but I can pretty much let this go for 3 hours and pull it out, and it's gonna be just how I want it. Okay, now that it's come to a boil, I'm adding my Scotch bonnet pepper there. That's just for a little spice. Then we're gonna go ahead and start adding our meat that we had already fried up. And see how thin that gravy is? Guys, watch this magic towards the end. It's gonna be a nice gravy, a nice consistency to the gravy. But we're gonna get all those pieces. Into the pan, and then we put our lid on there and put it in the oven. And again, my oven was already preheated. So all I did was added the lid. And I should have known to adjust my rack, but I didn't. So now we're gonna go ahead and just make a quick adjustment to the rack. I'm just moving my rack up because my lid has a handle on it. So just move the rack up and put it in the oven on 275. After 3 hours, this is what we have. Look at that gravy. Now, I didn't do anything else to this gravy. I just took it right out of the oven. It's nice and tender. I'm taking my Scotch bonnet pepper out because I don't want it super, super spicy. I just wanted to have a nice spicy flavor, but not too spicy where you can't eat it. So we're not gonna let that rest in the pot. But they nice and tender. And I'm gonna plate them up, put them on a plate, and let you guys see what the end result is. But I didn't do anything to that gravy. All of the thickness that you see in that gravy there was done by when I fried it. The skin that was on there is flour, so it's gonna give you a nice thick gravy. And I had it on 275. This stayed on for 3 hours. It was nice and tender. And this is the plated short ribs. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe.